What's up guys, it's Lindy and today I'm going to be teaching you how to warp a circular weaving loom. Circular wovens are a trend I've seen popping up a lot on the market recently. I love that they can be so unique. Each one is different. They come in a wide range of sizes from very small to very large, so you could use them as something as simple as an ornament on your Christmas tree or a statement piece in your living room or kitchen. There's really no limitation to what you can produce from a circular weave, and it just really shows the personality. I love that they come in such a wide variety of sizes. You can start out really small as maybe even like a 2-inch hoop. I tend to start more at a 4 or 5-inch hoop like this one here. This is a 5-inch hoop, just to give you an idea of what it will look like when it's finished. And then you can go really large as well. Just keep in mind that the larger your hoop, the longer it will take you to actually weave. This one here is the largest one I've done. It is a 14-inch hoop and it did take quite a while. But as you can see, I've included a lot of different weave structures in here and even some pile weaves up here, some fringe down here, and different kinds of yarns. So the bigger your hoop in general, the more you can do different techniques and structures to really customize it to what you want. So now we're going to talk about the supplies that you need to get started on your very own circular weave. There are really not many things you need to purchase ahead of time to get going. The first thing you'll need, of course, is a hoop. There are two main kinds of hoops you can use. The first being a regular embroidery hoop like this one here. This is a 9-inch hoop. It's a good medium size, a good size to start with. Another option that you could use is a metal macrame hoop. You can find these in the craft store, either in the macrame section if they have one, or in a wreath making section. I know that my local Michael's doesn't do macrame, so they have these in the wreath making section. You can also find either of these things on Amazon, and I'll link that down below. The next thing you'll need is some cotton yarn. I like to use a very strong yarn. It doesn't matter so much the color because you won't see it as much, although I wouldn't recommend doing something that clashes with your overall design. Today I'll just be using a basic white because I think that that will be the most neutral color for the weave that I'm planning on making. And then the final thing you'll need is a pair of scissors. If you have fabric scissors, this is a good opportunity to use them. They will cut through your yarn much smoother, but you certainly don't need them. You can just use any pair of scissors that you already own. Today I'm going to be warping a regular embroidery hoop. I've got a 9-inch one here, and this is what I'm going to use to start. To begin, you're just going to unscrew it a little bit and pop out the center. You can set aside the outside with the screw part for later. Obviously, if you're starting with a regular metal hoop, you don't need to do this part and you can just start with your hoop as is. Next, you're going to take your yarn, it is still on my package, and we're going to measure out how much we need to create our warp. You can find your end, here's mine, and just kind of pinch it along the top. Next, you're going to wrap it around the full diameter of your hoop 12 to 15 times. You can certainly do more if you want, but the more you have, the longer it will take to weave. However, if you have more warp yarns, you will have more detail in your final product. Alright, once you have that fully wrapped like this, you can go ahead and take your scissors and just cut it at the top, the same side where you originally started. Then you can basically undo everything you did by sliding it off. We just did this to measure out the amount of yarn you needed to warp your hoop. So from there, we're going to take one end again, pinch it to the top, and then you're going to take this little bit and pass it through the middle and wrap it around just like this. And you're going to keep doing this and just working your way around the hoop. So each step you're going to take about an inch or less between the yarns, in between the ones you previously did. Making sure you're going through the middle of the hoop every single time that you wrap. It's okay if your center starts to look like mine, where it's not all overlapping exactly in the middle. We'll fix that at the end. Alright, now you have two choices here. You can either take this yarn and create one more warp yarn, and that will create an uneven pattern that could be useful for some types of weaving hoops, or you can clip it and start from the center. That's what I'm going to do for this time. But I've done both and they both work well. So you clip off your excess yarn, or you bring it back to the middle. And then you're going to take it and kind of find an area where you can slide your fingers in like this to help create an actual center. Put the yarn through there, and then you'll just start wrapping it through some of the warp yarns on opposite sides to help create a more defined middle. And you can do this for as much or as little as you like. Some people like it to build up in the middle and create kind of a plus sign effect as a aesthetic choice, or some people like to start weaving it in after just a couple wraps, which is what I'm going to do this time. Then you can take your excess yarn and you're ready to start weaving. You can start by doing a simple plain weave through the hoop or through the warp yarns, or in between. You can really do whatever you like. You have now warped your yarn, warped your loom. The final step is to take your outside hoop, if you have one, and put it back on. This will help keep your yarns secure in place, and this is when you can fix any errors you might have where the yarns are a little bit uneven. As you can see here, some of my yarns shifted a little bit, so I'm just gonna loosen this hoop some. And then put it fully back on, and then I can adjust the yarns to where I want them. Alright you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching how to warp a hoop for circular weaving. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful, and if you did, please make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe bell so that you can be notified every time I post a new tutorial or video. If you have any requests on what you'd like to see next, I would love your feedback, and if not, stay tuned and I will see you next time.